It's just religion. It's just religion.
Hello and welcome back to RS in 5 or Less, where we try to not let fruit get in the way of doing the right thing. Today we're going to discuss two characters who may well be familiar to you, but we're going to look at the specific details of how they are regarded within Islam. These are Adam and Iblis, the devil. Adam is known as the father of humankind. He's also the first man and first prophet. As such, he is given enormous respect and honour. It is said that angels collected soil that was red, brown, yellow, black, that was gritty and smooth, from valleys and mountains and desert places and fertile lands, and that this soil was brought together to create Adam. It is said that Adam's descendants would be as varied as the soil from which he was taken. And it is said that Allah blew life into Adam's lungs. The 32nd chapter of the Quran reads, "He first created man from clay, then he moulded him. He breathed from his spirit into him. He gave you hearing, sight, and minds." Adam was greatly honoured by Allah and commanded all the angels to bow down to him, which they all did except one. We'll come to him in a minute. Adam was made to be the caretaker of the earth and was given tasks by Allah. Adam is given uniquely human abilities, such as naming things, language, communication, a thirst for knowledge, learning, reason, evaluation, and the ability to make free choices. But Adam was not complete without somebody for company. He was given Hawa, also known as Eve. Together they were to enjoy all things in the Garden of Bliss, apart from they were not to touch one particular tree. Iblis tempted them to disobey Allah and to actually touch the tree. They were aware of their nakedness and were banished from the Garden of Bliss to earth. But they asked for forgiveness for their actions and received mercy from Allah. Allah sent Adam guidance on the earth, and he taught him all things so that he could teach all things to others. He taught them that life on earth was temporary, but life in the next life would be eternal. And Adam is said to have built the Kaaba before it was destroyed in Noah's flood. To this day, this is a central point of Muslim worship, and represents there being one God and one God only. In the Hadith, it says that Adam was given the ability to bake bread and plant gardens. Being the first prophet, he was given 21 scrolls and was taught how to write them. For an extension, compare and contrast the Muslim account of the story of Adam and Eve with that of the Judeo-Christian tradition. What is similar and what is different? But just who is this Iblis character who tempted Adam and Hawa in the Garden of Bliss? Well, Iblis is a jinn, a supernatural creature. In contrast to Adam and Hawa, he did not show regret for his actions, and so is forever tormented and is without hope. When Allah commanded all of the angels to bow down to Adam, Iblis refused. His argument that he was a superior creature because Adam was made of clay, but Iblis was made out of fire. We read about this in the 7th chapter of the Quran. The name Iblis might be related to the word talbis, which means confusion. He is regarded as the father of bitterness and the enemy of Allah. It's important to note that Iblis did not become the enemy of Allah because he was disobedient, rather because he was attributing injustice to Allah. His argument was it was inappropriate to make angels bow down to humans. In Muslim theology, because Iblis is a created being, he cannot be the cause or source of evil in the world. In his role as tempter, he simply takes advantage of human weakness to his own ends. He seeks to use human self-centeredness to lead them away from God. In the 17th chapter of the Quran, we read that Iblis approaches Allah and asks for permission to try to mislead Adam and his descendants. Allah grants this permission, but boasts that he would have no power over the faithful believers. Some questions to consider. Is Adam a good example for Muslims today to follow, and why? Do you believe we should read the account of Adam and Hawa and Iblis in the Garden of Bliss as an historical event or as a metaphor? And how much of an influence is a belief in Iblis and evil on religious believers today?